The Underground Reich. How did the Nazis hide entire military factories underground? How many people died during the construction of the secret Mountain Crystal facility? Why did Hitler's regime need an underground city beneath an ancient castle in the Aal Mountains? Unknown bunkers of the Third Reich have been discovered in the Thuringian Forest in eastern Germany. During excavations in September 2024, archaeologists stumbled upon a complex system of underground rooms connected by tunnels. In the catacombs, they found communications equipment, weapons, and even documents marked top secret. Among them were coded maps marking the strategic facilities of the Wehrmacht throughout Europe. Historians are confident this find will help shed light on many of the mysteries of Nazi Germany.
All of this gives us a much better understanding of Germany's methods, how they planned their military operations, and consequently, how advanced the communication system in Germany was in 1945.
During World War II, the Nazis built hundreds of underground complexes across Europe. In some bunkers, they stored looted valuables. In others, they produced weapons. And a third category was used as secret command centers and shelters for the Reich's top leadership.
These were very serious constructions where one could hold out for months. Indeed, there were food supplies and ventilation, and incidentally, they were quite difficult to hit because some of the facilities went dozens of meters deep into the ground.
To protect German military industry from massive Allied bombing campaigns, Adolf Hitler ordered the main defense enterprises of Nazi Germany to be moved underground. Often, existing mine workings and natural caves were repurposed for these facilities, but sometimes underground factories were built from scratch. A deep trench, about 5 stories high, would be excavated. A building was then constructed inside it with a large number of ceilings. These ceilings were multi-layered with air gaps, so they could withstand a direct hit from an aerial bomb without collapsing. The entire structure was then supposed to be covered with earth and planted with small trees, creating the illusion from above that it was just a hill. In 1944, in northern Austria, the Nazis built a secret facility codenamed Mountain Crystal. It was an underground aircraft factory for the production of Messerschmitt Me-262 fighter jets, the world's first operational jet-powered aircraft. This was a strategic weapon for fascist Germany, because thanks to the Messerschmitts, Germany maintained air superiority and could therefore continue its military campaigns. Hitler himself said that if we lose the Messerschmitt factories, we lose Germany. During the construction of the Mountain Crystal aircraft plant, an estimated 18,000 people died. The average life expectancy of a worker was 4 months. Such facilities were built using the forced labor of concentration camp prisoners. The inmates also toiled in production. At the underground Mittelwerk factory in Thuringia, prisoners were forced to assemble V-2 ballistic rockets, Hitler's vengeance weapon. For the slightest suspicion of sabotage, the slave laborers were shot or hanged using cranes.
First and foremost, before an industrial facility was created, a concentration camp would be established nearby, and prisoners would be herded into it. These prisoners were simply ordinary citizens, deported from their homes. In particular, a large number were citizens of our country who were taken for this labor, and the extreme exploitation, where they continued to work in absolutely inhumane conditions, led to up to 50% of these prisoners dying during the construction of these industrial sites.
The Nazis built not only factories underground, but entire cities. The Third Reich's secret project giant, Riese, involved the construction of a grandiose network of catacombs under the ancient Książ Castle in Lower Silesia. Today, this region is in southwestern Poland. During the war, these lands belonged to Germany. The purpose of the underground city remains a mystery to this day. According to one version, it was intended to house a combined headquarters for the Wehrmacht, to another, to accommodate defense enterprises.
It could have accommodated by various estimates from 3,000 to 10,000 permanent residents. It was assumed that life in this city would be self-sufficient. Large stocks of supplies were to be stored there. Water was supplied through an ingenious system fed by natural springs. Pipes were drilled through the rock. Some laid, others bored directly through. So water was supplied, and consequently, the facility could continue to function for several months in completely sealed-off conditions.
The underground city consisted of 7 interconnected complexes that descended tens of meters deep. However, the Nazis never managed to complete any of them. The advance of the Red Army prevented it. In early 1945, upon learning of the approach of Soviet troops, the Germans destroyed all documents related to Project Giant and also blew up and flooded some of the underground tunnels. According to some sources, the Nazis initially planned to move Hitler's headquarters into the catacombs under Książ Castle. From 1941 to 1944, the Führer's main headquarters was the Lair, a secret underground complex in the Wolfsschanze forest. Today, this is near the Polish town of Kędzierzyn. It covered an area of 250 hectares and included dozens of fortified structures. The Führer spent over 800 days here. It was from here that he directed the invasion of the Soviet Union and the military operations on the Eastern Front.
It was a highly fortified facility. It could withstand not just a direct hit from a single aerial bomb, but the impact of carpet bombing. Because the British, realizing that individual bombs couldn't penetrate the facilities, engaged in what's known as rocking them. If it's just rock, continuous carpet bombing causes shifts in the rock masses, which even while withstanding the impacts, would begin to collapse on the heads of those inside. During the construction of the Lair, all of this was taken into account.
In Hitler's bunker, they erected concrete walls 12 meters thick. Around it, the headquarters for his inner circle were built. The secret headquarters was connected to the outside world by a small airfield and a nearby railway station. A direct telephone cable was run from the Lair to Berlin. All the underground fortifications were securely camouflaged. To avoid detection from the air, modeled trees were used. During the war, not a single Allied bomb fell on the Lair. However, in this underground shelter, the Führer almost died. On July 20, 1944, the leader of the anti-Hitler conspiracy, Wehrmacht Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg, brought a briefcase with 2 bombs into the headquarters. Only a series of coincidences saved the Nazi leader from certain death.
At the moment of the explosion, Hitler had moved away from his spot, so he was only concussed, not killed, although a number of people nearby were blown to pieces.
Shortly after the failed assassination attempt, Adolf Hitler moved to another secret headquarters, the Eagle's Nest, 40 kilometers from Frankfurt on Main. Part of the bunkers at the former command center was blown up by the Nazis in January 1945, but a number of the underground fortifications have survived to this day.